Okay, welcome everybody, Chapter Plus members and Mastermind VIPs. How are you today? This is Craig Valine, your local chapter independent business advisor for Glendale, Pasadena, GKIC. Today's topic, the April 2011 Chapter Plus call, is how to turn your ordinary business into an extraordinary business. So why don't we get started? It was a dark and stormy night back in 1917. Napoleon Hill gets an interview with America's first billionaire. Andrew Carnegie invites Hill to interview the most successful people in America. And Napoleon Hill catalogs the common and uncommon traits of the most successful people. These were written in the Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill, and then a smaller version of that was Think and Grow Rich. Okay, other people like Napoleon Hill have also cataloged the most successful traits of people in America. Tom Peters is one of those people. He wrote a book called In Search of Excellence, which profiled the top 10 companies. I think 80% of those companies are now not in business at this time. Gene Landrum, GeneLandrum.com, has also done this. So these are people who have not created these millionaire people or these successful people, but they profiled these people, found out what made them so successful, and then organized their information into books. Dan Kennedy, however, has $100 million of know-how. Okay, evolution in thought and experience over 29 years. He's helped over 100 people become millionaires. And this is probably well over 100 people, if not 200 or more. They're all first-generation millionaires and multimillionaires, and they're all from scratch and fast and in very diverse fields, and most, ultimately, in multiple businesses. Okay? So Dan calls these people renegade millionaires. Okay? They have a different philosophy. They defy industry norms. Their approach to marketing is much different. Their personal behaviors are very different than those who are not renegades. Their demands on others are very different than what the average business owner or entrepreneur does. They turn ordinary businesses into extraordinary businesses, which is our topic today. They change the way their type of business is done. It's not like just another blank. And of course, their financial results are far greater than the average business owner or entrepreneur. So, renegade millionaire's secret, right? We're going to talk about turning ordinary businesses into extraordinary businesses, okay? So, what does that really mean? Okay, so most entrepreneurs think in incremental improvement, okay? So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm in the coffee business, the coffee shop business, okay? Most coffee shop business owners are going to say, how can we get more customers into the coffee shop? How can we compete more effectively with coffee shop across the street? How can we inch up our prices by a dime? How can we get more people to buy 2 donuts instead of 1 donut? They approach it from an incremental improvement standpoint. Okay, the folks Dan Kennedy works with approach it from a very different standpoint. Okay, how do we take this ordinary business and make it something entirely different than what it is right now? So how do I take an ordinary business and make it something entirely different from what it is now? Okay, so although it still sells coffee that is infinitely more profitable and has unique competitive positioning and so forth, it changes the entire business. By the way, the most common thing that Dan hears when he works with his consulting clients is, I got here at 8 a.m. this morning thinking I was in business A, and then I left at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, now in business B, C, D, E, X, Y, and Z. The complaint attached to that is, Dan, you've really created a whole lot more work for me, which is like his best skill. So if you approach your business with the question of, how can I make it better? How can I make it more profitable? How can I increase sales? How can I make it bigger? I submit to you it's the wrong question, because the questions themselves have limitations. The questions themselves have an incremental improvement mindset. One of Dan's clients, I heard a story about him once. He said one of his larger company clients, also a very dysfunctional company, that kind of goes together. Dan says the bigger they are, the dumber they are. And big companies tend to get bigger and bigger and bigger and dumber and dumber and dumber until they're like this giant dinosaur that can't get through the woods anymore, and it's bumping its head on every tree and very slow and ponderous. It's a sort of where his clients was. But what they said to Dan was at the beginning of the relationship is, we're doing about 30% better than our next closest competitor in our category. Dan says, yeah, but they're dysfunctional too. It's like bragging about being the world's tallest midget. You still have to wait for somebody else to push the elevator button if you want to go to the 4th or 5th floor, right? So you don't want to be comparing yourself to that. You want to be looking, for example, what should my market share be? What could our market share be? Okay, so what should it be? What could it be? Not, oh, we're doing 30% better than these other idiots, okay? So we take comfort in the fact that they're more dysfunctional, screwed up than we are, but that's how a lot of people approach business. We don't approach business that way, okay? Last thing you ever want to be compared to is just another blank. So one of the best examples is Starbucks. Okay, so imagine being in the meeting where everybody gets together and says, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to sell coffee for $8 a cup, and we're going to sell it in paper cups that are so thin, we'll give them this little cardboard wrapper to put around it so they don't burn their fingers. And we're going to put a bunch of really slow kids behind the counter so that they got to stand in line a long time to give us the $8 so they can enjoy the ambiance in the European bistro environment we're going to create. And we're going to complicate the menu so much that just to come in and order, you need a degree from Caltech. And you need to take a memory course to make it half an hour just to make a decision. And we're going to open so many of them that you literally can walk out of one, cross the street, and walk into another. In fact, our goal is to get to the point where we're opening Starbucks in the men's room of other Starbucks. Now, get out your checkbook and invest in this puppy. So imagine being in that meeting. You're going to do what? It's coffee. So everybody is walking around celebrating the morons over at Starbucks, you know, all these competitors. Let's say Dunkin' Donuts. They're walking around saying, these guys want to charge $8 for coffee. So they're all celebrating and they're going, what idiots, right? So, Starbucks is still around and these competitors are befuddled. So they're all probably saying to themselves, we've got better coffee. And Dunkin' Donuts might have better coffee, okay? When I grew up on the East Coast, I used to drink only Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I moved out to California, I only drink Starbucks, you know? It's not about who has the better coffee. So Dunkin' Donuts is in the coffee shop business. But Howard Schultz of Starbucks is only like barely in the coffee shop business. That's clearly not what Starbucks is about. You could spend hours talking about what it's about, but we can all agree it's not about getting a better cup of coffee because clearly there's a lot of places you could go for faster, cheaper, and get a better cup of coffee. So Domino's, okay, it's not about the pizza either. Everybody's got better pizza than Domino's. Okay, Domino's original USP, unique selling proposition, was fresh hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less or it's free. It does not say anything about good pizza, and there's a reason for that. Everybody knows you can get better pizza just about anywhere in America. You can be in the middle of a cornfield in Iowa, and there's probably better pizza available than Domino's. They recently opened their 10,000th store, by the way. Tom Monahan, the creator of Domino's, reinvented the whole pizza business because he made it about the delivery and the delivery time, not about the pizza. Everybody else got in the pizza business, and they're talking about the pizza. They're all having meetings talking about our crust is better than this guy's, and we've got a better recipe. And by the way, all the original locations for Domino's, beginning with the failing one that he started with, were around college campuses. So the delivery USP was really cool because you got a lot of people in the dorms who, let's be polite, probably have the munchies late at night, right? So at some point in time, they are desperate for carbohydrates. They're completely incapable of going out and getting any. But they want them fast, and they could care less about good. And quite frankly, they're very incapable of discerning good. So the guy pulls out of his kitchen cabinet, sits on the floor, eats the box of corn toasties and the box. So it doesn't make any difference. The 30 minutes or less was perfectly matched to the market. That's how you take an ordinary business, an ordinary mundane business, in a saturated, cluttered field. Okay, so when Howard Schultz started Starbucks, was there any place in America that had a shortage of places you could go to get coffee? You know, everybody's sitting around saying, man, we're 500 miles from coffee. I wish somebody would just open up a place here we could get coffee. When Domino's started, was there any place where there was a shortage of pizza? There wasn't everybody sitting around saying, oh my God, I haven't had a good pizza in 30 years because we can only get one in Chicago and Italy. If only here in Pasadena there was some place we could get pizza. It's the biggest section in the Yellow Pages, right? Pizza and lawyers. Those are the two biggest sections. So there weren't any shortages. It's a mundane, ordinary business made into an extraordinary business, not an incrementally better business. That's a big shift in thinking. So I have a quick list of people in GKIC that demonstrate the principle in different ways, okay? One is Diane Coutu. She has a pizza place that isn't even a dine-in. It's takeout and delivery. It's gourmet pizza. Okay, here's what she's done. She's implemented continuity into her restaurant. Continuity meaning monthly big income. If you've been a member of GKIC for any amount of time, you're familiar with the concept. You just wouldn't expect to find it in a restaurant. You join the club, and then on the first day of every month, your credit card gets whacked for $29.95 until you say, don't do that anymore. And you get in the mail $39.95 worth of coupons that could be spent during the month on different and sundry products at different and sundry times, all, incidentally, requiring you to spend more in order to use them. You get the newsletter, which really the business should have sent anyway. You get some special offers during the month that are for members only, and you get a special phone number. The special phone number, by the way, this is the Disney shorter line plan. You get a special phone number that's for members only, so that like at peak times when everybody's trying to order a pizza, like on Super Bowl Sunday or Halloween or whatever, they're all standing in the regular line, and of course everybody's getting a busy signal if they're trying to call. Well, you get the members only line and wait in line for a shorter period of time in order to get in. Or you get in to order your pizza. So that's what you get for the $29.95 per month. Now, if there's 200 members, there is $6,000 a month of income on the first day of each month before a pizza oven has been turned on, a box has been pulled off the shelf, or a piece of crust has been made. That's $72,000 locked in, automatic income, before anybody sells or delivers a pizza. Furthermore, it forces everybody, because now they've got these coupons they paid for, to spend money in all month long. It not only increases their frequency of purchase, it increases their repeat visit rate, and it increases their word-of-mouth advertising because they can't use other coupons. So they give some of their coupons to like their friends and family. So really, the coupons don't cost them a thing. None of it costs anything. Okay, the $6,000 a month is 100% net profit. So there's $72,000 a year of 100% net created in this business. It's a restaurant, but you understand it's no longer an ordinary restaurant. It's really about something very different than an ordinary restaurant. Paul Johnson, he's in the backyard shed business. Think about it. Can you be any more mundane, boring, ordinary, commoditized than a shed business? If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or Orchard or whatever, there's a bunch of them sitting out in the parking lot on skids that you can buy to take home and put up, and you can do that pretty cheap. Okay, Paul's sheds are selling for roughly the equivalent of a room addition, and he's in Northern California. They're selling for as much as $20,000 to $25,000. I think I said that right. $20,000 to $25,000. It's a shed, for crying out loud. Okay, I think his average sale price is about $8,000. It's a shed. But what's different is the marketing. And so, for example, somebody calls up any other shed company and says, send me information. Okay? So they'll send a price list, and then they send them a little crappy trifold brochure with little drawings of their sheds on it, the specs. Okay? Paul sends a DVD that is a half-hour show, room-made, interviewing happy people in their backyards with their sheds, showing what they're doing with their sheds. Okay, for example, one person has it as their dollhouse because they always wanted a dollhouse when they were a kid, and their parents would never give them one. So now she's got a full-size dollhouse. I know, it's kind of creepy, actually, but I digress. One husband and wife got two of them, his and hers, private space, so each could go to their respective places and have private time. One for the wife to knit, one for the husband to build model airplanes and watch baseball games in it. Okay? Another family made it into a game room, and so on. There's a book that goes into every package which has all the stories of the shed lovers. It's kind of like a chicken soup for the shed lover soul. And it's got these emotional stories of these people using the sheds in different ways. Paul says we got out of the shed business and we got into the emotion business, and we made price relevant. Okay? So, one more example. Dr. Charlie Martin is a cosmetic dentist in Richmond, Virginia. His average case size last year was over $35,000. His biggest case was $112,000. Okay? You could go into any dentist in Richmond, Virginia, and probably any cosmetic dentist in Virginia and get, quote, the same work done for 30% or 50% less. Now, the first requirement, you realize, to sit across the desk from a patient and quote a $70,000 fee is the same requirement that Dan Kennedy uses for his copywriter fees. Do you know what it is? It's the ability to maintain a straight face when you quote the fee. Absolutely, positively true. But you have to practice that in front of a mirror. Okay? It's a thing you don't take for granted. Charlie is a very, very good dentist. He's an outstanding cosmetic dentist. But I don't think he's 100% better than the next closest cosmetic dentist. I doubt it. But his practice is an extraordinary practice. The way his patient is handled, the environment, from the grand piano playing in the lobby when you arrive, to the little cafe on the left with espresso and a mural of an Italian square painted on the wall to the left, to the paraffin treatments for the women, the massage chairs, and so on and so on and so forth. Okay? You don't even know you're in a dentist's office when you walk in. It's extraordinary. So I hope you've gotten this idea. Get out of incremental mindset and think about turning your business from ordinary to extraordinary. Do things that others would never do. Make your business about something other than what it is now. It's not about your product or service. It's got to be about something else. Break the rules. Renegades break the rules. Just because business is done a certain way in your industry doesn't mean it can't be done another way. It's just that some person came up with an idea a long time ago, and that was what was widely accepted at that time. Do this, and no doubt, I promise, you keep doing these things that we're teaching, and you'll be extraordinarily wealthy. Okay, listen, there are two resources that I want to just share with you. You can see them up on the screen. One is the Renegade Millionaire System, which I think absolutely positively is one of Dan Beck's best compilations of work ever stated. It's an incredible program. The other is $10 million Ideas, which is a much less expensive course. But I recommend both. They're very high. I have them in my personal library. They're highlighted to the hilt. Where I got this information to share with you today, they're critical if you want to go to the next level in your business. Okay, you can go to our website, www.glendalepasadena.com/GKIC resources. Okay. If you have questions about anything we talked about here on this call, and you would like the question answered, send me an email at craig@glendalepasadenagkic.com. And what I'll do is, if it's not a personal question, if it's something that other people can benefit from, I'd like to post it right under this video on the Chapter Plus site. So that other people can benefit. Because if one person has questions, chances are other people have the question too. So that's it for today. That's it for this month's Chapter Plus call. Turn your business from an ordinary business into an extraordinary business. Keep coming to Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle, our local chapter meetings. We're looking for a new nickname for the chapter, by the way. So if you have an idea, have a few great ones. I got one today. I thought it was really good. It was our monthly marketing and money-making super meetings. I like that. But if you have some ideas for a nickname for our local chapter, please send them along with your question, or just email me anytime. And the winner gets free 2 hours of consulting with me to solve any major marketing problem that you have. So that's it for today. Have a fantastic day. I look forward to seeing you at our upcoming chapter meeting, and also an evening with Bill Glazer on May 12th. That's it. Have a fantastic day. Bye now.